Today it's time for Batman to learn to fight without his eyes. This is Comicstorian. I take some of your favorite comic books, I break them down into an audio drama where I give you the poor man's version of a narration and try to act out the characters. We cut out a lot of the B plots and cut down on the panels and remove the text. This allows you to be able to go out and buy these comic books yourself if you want to add them to your collection and still have stuff to get. But you're allowed to watch our videos and get context so that you know what's going on in the world of comic books. Today we're going to be covering Batman issues 119 to 120. When we last left off with Batman in the main continuity, he had just battled against Scarecrow, Simon Saint, and the Magistrate. It took the entire might of the Bat family to defeat them. And now, with much less money at his disposal, Batman is figuring out what is going to happen next for him. And as usual, if you want to get early access to our videos, please consider going to patreon.com/comicstorian. But let's get into the story. With the Scarecrow, Simon Saint, and the Magistrate all removed from Gotham thanks to Batman and the Bat family, the city has decided that for its first night of freedom, they're gonna party like there's no tomorrow. But while everyone is out on the streets, a pair of robbers figured that it might be a good time to break into a pawn shop, while the stores and the shops were all closed up for the event. As the fireworks are going off with a pop and a boom, one of the thugs looks around and says that it looks like Batman is watching them. But the other gruff thug informs him that it's just another gargoyle. The city of Gotham is littered with them. The guy who designed the city took the name a little too literally and put damn gargoyles everywhere. With another explosion of lights illuminating the city, the two look back and see that the shadow wasn't a gargoyle. It was Batman. The men run out of the alleyway, flagging down the police, shouting to please arrest them. They don't want to take a beating from Batman. And as the police take the men in, Barbara radios in that he enjoyed that, huh? Batman, and Batman simply responds, "I don't know what you're talking about." She says that she loves it when he sees people having fun. He gets suspicious. Gotham has been through hell in the last few years between the Joker war and the Magistrate. Maybe he should just take the night off like everyone else. It's a few seconds later that Babs gets a ping and says never mind, she just jinxed it. Her facial recognition software has tagged a car full of hired killers speeding uptown. Looks like the Billionaires Club is throwing a party. But he isn't gonna like its theme. Seems like they're pretending to be the villains of Gotham. Batman heads over to the party, looking out just in case any of the rich people are in fact the villains, when suddenly a giant fireball lights up the room. Firefly tells everyone, "As long as you stay cool, no one else gets burned. So just sit tight while my villains get your banking information and we'll get out of your hair in no time." But out of nowhere, a killer Croc jumps out punching away one of Firefly's men. The fake Riddler tells him, "Riddle me this! What is green and red all over?" And after breaking the Riddler's nose, Croc says his fist. Firefly yells out, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! I've worked with Croc before. He does not move like that." And after spraying Croc in fire, the costume burns away and Batman is standing there. Fudge! The fake Joker then tries to stab Batman, but as Batman dodges, the Joker asks, "Where are all your fancy gadgets?" And Batman punches him. "You're not worth a batarang." Firefly begins to fly off to escape, but Batman fires his grappling hook, grabbing a hold of Firefly's leg. "Really? Guess I'm gonna have to burn all of these!" But as he's pulling the trigger, Batman fires the freeze gun from one of the fake Mr. Freezes, knocking Firefly out. All of the partygoers gather around cheering. "That was amazing! They really went all out for this party!" And just as Batman is being hit on by a woman in a Catwoman costume, a little girl asks if she can have his autograph. Batman looks down at the little girl to see her dressed as Punchline, and after throwing a smoke bomb, a napkin floats down, signed by Batman. Babs radios in telling him that all of the guests' phones and pictures from the last few seconds have been erased before they could post them, but now he should take the night off. What did he do in the past after solving a big case? Batman thinks about all the times that he spent with Jim, his Robins, Catwoman, Alfred, and all of those things are now lost. A few moments later, the sun begins to rise, and Barbara asks why doesn't he stop by. Nightwing is bringing breakfast over, and he knows that Nightwing always orders too much. What do you say? Batman remains quiet for a bit longer and tells her, "I'm gonna go dark for 48 hours. Barbara asks what happened, but as Batman reads a passing news blimp, he reads breaking news. Batman Incorporated arrested for murder. And he turns off his comms. Meanwhile, over in Indonesia, Detective Kaya begins her investigation of the crime scene. One of the officers tells her that the case is closed. The wannabe Batman confessed. Kaya then asks what's the harm in doing a quick look. A little sightseeing never hurt anyone. She looks at the black goop, calling back that they may have missed something. But she goes to touch it and Batman appears, telling her, "Don't touch it." She spins around with her gun drawn, asking if he's trying to give her a heart attack. And Batman just collects a sample of the goop, asking who was the victim. The name wasn't in the reports. Kaya says that the monster's name was Abyss, someone who had been terrorizing this country for the last year. Reports of kidnapping in right off the streets. People were scared to go out at night. Then Batman Incorporated showed up and saved the day, but they turned themselves in after Abyss's body was found. Is he here to prove that Batman Inc. didn't do it? That they were framed? And Batman tells her, that's the problem. They did do it. They killed Abyss. Dark Ranger, the Hood, El Guacho, Batman of China, and Man o' Bats are all heroes. Who turned them into killers? I would team up with them from time to time, but they disbanded and I lost track of all of them. Kaya says, right, that one rich guy sponsored them. And Batman says, yeah, but Wayne no longer has the funds to support their mission. And Kaya tells him that there was someone else, another rich guy. After hearing footsteps, Batman turns around and a shadowy man steps out telling him, after everything that has happened in Gotham City, someone had to pick up the slack when Wayne could not. Bring Batman Incorporated out of the darkness and into the light, so that they could truly make the world a better place. But don't mind me, I'm just protecting my investment. The man steps out in a white and purple suit and Batman stares. Luthor. As the multi-billionaire Luthor stares at the former billionaire Wayne in his Batman costume, Detective Kaya says that she takes it that they have met, and Luthor tells her, of course. Batman and I are old friends. Our relationship has aged like fine wine, a bottle of Pinot Noir from Nadiri, to be exact. Though I would say I figured that the world's greatest detective would have known. When Bruce Wayne could no longer finance the international experiment, I stepped up. But at that moment, they're interrupted as the police officers begin to shout that it's a Batman, and they open fire, bullets flying by everyone. Batman quickly drops a smoke grenade to escape, and a few moments later, as the smoke is clearing, Lex and Kaya see the officers are strung up with a sign. See you soon. Lex laughs to himself, telling Kaya that if she and the city are in any need of him, just give him a call. But if you'll excuse me, I have dinner plans. It's a short while later that Lex is sitting at a dinner table while looking at the city as his guest says that Nadiri was a winery in the city 100 years ago. It's a local legend. It was the family's dream to use the grapes here to create a one-of-a-kind wine. Then a rival burned it down and ruined them. Only one crate of the family's wine, a Pinot Noir, survived, gifted to this restaurant. And that is the last bottle, valued at over $20 million. Lex picks up the bottle, stating that the restaurant at first refused to sell, but everyone has a price. Even you, Bruce. Bruce steps up. Nothing you say is ever by accident, so I took the hint. What do you want, Lex? Lex pours the wine and he purposely drifts and begins to pour it on the table and then the floor, stating that he has been through a recent experience. He learned a few things the hard way. The world needs a Superman, just as it needs a Batman. And here you are without your greatest weapon, your family's fortune. All that money gone in a blink of a clown's eye. Even your former ward, Nightwing, gave the butler's money away to charity like some fool. That boy was always a bit soft, wasn't he? With a blink of an eye, Bruce grabs Lex by the collar, ready to hit, but he throws him back into the chair instead, and Lex fixes his collar. Let's not get emotional. With my help, my money, you can continue to be the very best Batman that you can be. Now, don't go saying no just yet. Allow me to prove that I have changed. Abyss's body is currently sitting in the police station, and they will be moving it to my private and secure lab at LexCorp. We will examine the body together and uncover the truth, whatever the truth may be, and we will know if Batman Incorporated is innocent, or at the very least, if they took out a serial killer. What do you say? But as Lex turns back around, he sees that Bruce is already gone. You'll see it my way soon, or you'll suffer the consequences, Bruce. Later, Bruce suits up, making his way to the police station as he listens in on Kaya arguing with the police chief that they just can't give Lex the body. As she storms out of the office, another officer says to just listen to the chief. Does she have any idea how much Luthor has donated to the station, to the city? But as they go back and forth, Kaya looks over asking where did the body go? She then calls out over the radio to lock everything down and be on the lookout for a dead body on the run. While everyone is moving, Kaya's phone rings and she answers it with Batman telling her that he needs to examine the body before Luthor. Direct the others to the roof. Kaya asks how he got this number and then yells everyone get to the roof. Down in the coroner's lab, Batman unzips the body bag to see a decomposed corpse, telling her that this is not Abyss. Abyss died 2 days ago and this body is months old. Is something accelerating the body's decomposition? He turns the head to see a bullet wound to the temple, telling her that this is the cause of the death. A 9mm. No one in Batman Incorporated used that caliber. Did Lex know? Just then the body coughs, spitting up black liquid, the same that was left on the crime scene. The lights begin to flicker, and as Batman stands up, he begins to flip through his night vision and then infrared and sees nothing. Throwing a flashbang, he still sees nothing. He then looks at his hands, telling him, I could see myself, I'm still in the police station. So thank you to whoever's doing this. And then a voice tells him, I'm not dead, Batman. Abyss leaps out of the darkness, Batman shifting to avoid it, asking, Who are you? I am a creature of darkness, born in the shadows, just like you. Did you use Batman Incorporated to fake your death? Are you working for Lex? Abyss snakes through the darkness, telling him, You should know. You made me. Now go back to Gotham! Suddenly, Batman feels a sharp pain in his chest as he is cut by Abyss's blade. And Abyss tells him, If you stay, you will risk getting lost in the abyss. Forever! Just then, the lights come back on and Kaya rushes in asking what happened. They need to get Batman out of here now. He hesitates. He looks around. He is shocked because he can't see. His eyes have gone dark. As the police station tries to locate Batman, Kaya later comes back stating that she was able to recover the body and she will hurry up and deliver it to Luthor's lab. The police chief scoffs, telling her good of her to show some initiative, and they'll continue searching here for Batman. Kaya nods as she loads the body up into the police van and takes off, telling him that he can breathe now. Just then, the blades on Batman's glove rip through the bag, and she asks how his eyes are. He says that he still only sees darkness. Whatever Abyss did to him hasn't worn off, and no sign of it ever will. He needs a place where he can work and examine his eyes. So later, as the kettle begins to whistle, Kaya asks if Abyss is alive. And if he is, that means that Batman Incorporated didn't kill him? As Batman sits in a dark corner of Kaya's apartment, he says that it seems that way. She brings tea over and tells him that she can turn the light on, but Batman tells her that he needed it off so that he can remove his mask and examine his eyes. But not just his eyes, it's something in his brain. He's not sure if this is nanotech or a bioinfection. He doesn't have all of his tools to do a full scan. She asks if he can call for backup, but as Batman doesn't answer, she says right. His silence tells her that he does have backup, but doesn't want to ask for help. She gets up looking at an old family photo, telling him that she can understand wanting to work alone. But at that moment, he reaches for his mask and shouts in pain. He tries to push her away, but she rushes over to stitch up the wound from before. He decides that he needs to talk to Batman Incorporated to find out what really happened. And she explains that right now, Batman Incorporated are in a state-of-the-art prison built by Lex. That they allowed themselves to be arrested. Now, over at the Super Tech prison, Batman Incorporated is being transported into their cells when the lights begin to flicker. As they go out, Hood begins to wonder if it's the Abyss, and Batman tells him, No, this is his move. Get to the roof and then you can debrief me on what happened to Abyss. El Guacho says that he's sure that he wants to free a bunch of murderers, and Batman tells him, Abyss isn't dead, you're all innocent, now move to the roof, and we can work on proving that together. Hood asks him what's up with him. He's acting weird. Kaya radios in, watching through Batman's visor, stating that they are onto him and the prison security is about to restart any minute. Batman sees no one rushing to move and asks them to at least tell him about Lex's involvement with Batman Incorporated. Why would you work for someone like him? Is it the money? El Guacho asks, Money? How dare you? And Man of Bat says that Lex gave them more than money, he gave them a mission. What mission? What do you care? And Hood tells them that they didn't need him before and they don't need Batman now. Hood rushes into attack and Batman shifts to avoid, and Kaya asks, What is going on? Fight back, punch, kick. Batman tries to, but yells for her to be quiet, just be quiet. Once she stops talking, he manages to defend himself, and after throwing Hood to the side, he shouts, Just talk to me! Why would you work with Lex Luthor? Before anyone can answer, the officers pour in and open fire, and Batman tells everyone to hurry and get to the roof. Once there, he signals for the bat plane, but is then punched to the ground again. He coughs, telling them, "Whatever Lex offered you, we can fix it, just talk to me." And Hood tells him that this is their case and he needs to back off. At that moment, there's a loud crash as Lex lands on the roof in his exosuit with Batman's symbol on the chest. And Batman looks up. "Wait, what? I can see?" Lex tells him that he barely escaped Abyss. All of this was about drawing the two of them here together. They were set up. "Our only hope for stopping Abyss is if you work for me, Batman." Batman crawls to his feet, shouting, "What games are you playing? What did you do? Answer me." But rather than Lex answering, Hood tells him, "You just don't get it. Lex may have funded our new Batman Incorporated, but Abyss is our leader." Abyss walks through the Batman, holding out his hand. "Join me in the dock and help me kill Lex Luthor." Batman Incorporated surround Batman and Lex, and Batman is confused. "You were working for Abyss this whole time." Abyss answers to the team, telling him, "Luthor sent these men to hunt me down, and once they got here, I offered them something greater, taking down Lex Luthor once and for all. And now I will offer you the same. Join us, kill Lex, and you can have your eyes back." Lex pauses for a moment. "What is Abyss talking about? Your eyes? Are you?" Just then, KO rushes in with her weapon drawn, yelling, "Freeze! Abyss, you're under arrest!" And Batman calls out, "You need to get out of here! There are too many!" And Kaya says that she knows. That's why she called for backup. They'll arrest everyone and sort it out later. Police helicopters begin to converge on their locations, and Abyss laughs. "Excellent. If she provided an audience, I can provide a show. Batman Incorporated, prove your loyalty! Kill Lex Luthor!" Everyone rushes in to attack both Lex and Batman, with Lex shouting that he should have chosen to work for him. Now he has no choice. "And you're blind, worthless." Batman tells him maybe, but the suit that Lex is wearing allows him to see. And as the battle begins to erupt on this rooftop, Batman pulls back. "Batman Incorporated, code, Club of Heroes." Abyss is stunned. What does that mean? And suddenly all of Batman Incorporated shifts sides, standing with Batman as Dark Ranger says, "Means this was an undercover mission, and we don't work for you anymore." Abyss sighs. "I had such high hopes for you. You all want to be Batman." When Lex came to me with an offer, he offered the tools to make a new kind of Batman. And just as he started the experiment, I learned that Lex was targeting cities with high crime so that he could create his own Batman, ones loyal to him. But at the end, Lex abandoned me, left me to show this city how scary it can be at night. That's why he sent a whole team of Batmen to stop me. Lex shouts out, "He is lying. I had nothing to do with the creation of Abyss." And Abyss grabs Lex from behind. "Lies grow strong in the dark. Lights out to Luthor." But before Abyss could cut Lex's throat, Kaya opens fire, forcing Abyss to release Lex and flee. Kaya asks Batman, what do they do now? And Lex says, "Why are you asking him? He is lost in the dark as any of us." Batman takes a deep breath, remembering that at times he can't do everything on his own, that he will need some help, and he tells Lex that. Lex tells him, "Finally, you've come to your senses." But Batman grabs Lex by the arm, slamming a batarang into it, pulling out the wires and hooking them into his own suit. Now with some light powering his suit, Batman can see, saying that he will bring both him and Abyss into the light. A short while later, Abyss lands in the middle of a dark alleyway, but before he could step on 2 feet, the electric signs begin to flicker with electricity, and he spins back with his sickle, asking, "What is this?" The whole area turns white, and Batman steps out. "Lex wouldn't have given you those powers if he didn't have a way to take you down." Abyss is furious, rushing in. "I don't need his toys!" And Batman deflects the blade, punching Abyss. "You're good, but you use darkness as a crutch." Abyss turns back, spraying a black mist into Batman's face, and within seconds, Batman can see again. Abyss slashes at the power source on his chest, telling him, "Good. You'll be able to see your life flash before your eyes." As Abyss swings, Batman catches it. "You're done. Stop this now and I can help you." And as he punches Abyss down, Abyss says, I just wanted to be like you. Instead, I will always be in the dark, forever alone. After Abyss drops a smoke bomb, he escapes. And Batman returns to the others, and Kea asks if he's sure about leaving. They could really use him around here. Batman tells her that the city doesn't need its own Batman. It needs her. When she is ready, just let him know. And as Batman begins to take off, she asks, what does that even mean? Over with the others, Lex screams that they had a deal. He paid them. And El Guacho says that he never signs anything unless his lawyer looks at it. Dark Ranger and Man-O-Bat state that they knew that he built more than one Abyss. They thought working with him would help them find how many cities he did his sick experiment in. And they found the list. Lex scoffs, walking away. Prove it. All you have is the word of a killer. As he walks away, Hood asks, are they just going to let Lex go? And Batman tells him that Lex is smart. Nothing will ever connect him to Abyss. Luthor lost control of Batman Incorporated, and though he is off the hook, it doesn't look like he's happy. Man-O-Bat asks, when did you know that we weren't working for Abyss or Lex? And Batman tells him back in the prison. They were all amazing fighters, but it was clear that they were holding back, because they knew that Abyss was watching. He then tells them, you all did good work, I'll be in touch, but I'm needed elsewhere first. Later back in Gotham, after the events of the Arkham Tower, Oracle radios in asking what the hell, where has he been? Batman tells her that she was right. It's hard for him to celebrate the wins, but he's working on it. Thank you. And while Batman tries to enjoy his victory elsewhere, someone else is planning something and watching. And the one watching Batman is Deathstroke. Now, before we can close out today's episode, there's a couple things in that very ending there that you need to know about. The Arkham Tower event is a 12-issue Detective Comics thing, which basically the rest of the Bat family has to deal with something while Batman is out of town dealing with Abyss. We're going to be covering that on Sundays right here at Comicstorian, or if you're watching this video far in the future, you can easily just search the Arkham Tower playlist. And the Deathstroke thing at the ending, that's leading into the Shadow War, which will be covered here on Comicstorian within the next week or two. Thank you so much for watching this video to the ending, and I will see you next time right here at Comicstorian.